There were also,
when the seal was being broken?
please repeat your question again.
And I'm saying you don't have details of these people, like the names and all of this, for example, ORS members and the security members and the management of the depot.
I did not have details as I was not an investigating officer. Normally, an investigating officer will acquire all the details of the people who are at the crime scene, so that in future, if he requires statements from them, he can be able to contact them to obtain those statements. So I saw these people that I'm mentioning here are people that I saw, but these were not the only people who were there when the container was open, when the container was open and when the exhibit were loaded into the vehicle.
Okay. So that would be what Colonel Jacob says in terms of details.
I'm not getting you.
No, I'm saying, you're saying that would be in the possession of the investigating person.
Normally at the crime scene,
Yes.
the investigating officer identify the possible witnesses and acquire their contact details and everybody who's there, so that if he requires statements, he's able to contact those people to depose the affidavit.
Okay. No, that's fine. Let's move to your paragraph 10. I think part of it we've covered about the area of work, right? And where you say the space was limited and all of this. Earlier on, you also indicated that the space was becoming crowded. When you say crowded, were there any other, who came other than the members that you now have, other than the persons that we've dealt with, right? Were there any other members, either those ones driving the forklifts around or the equipment that were now coming to the area?
There were a lot of people. Some of them, they were wearing overalls. And that is why we are saying that the place became crowded, because there is just a lot of people gathered wanting to see what was seized.
And is it the version that there was no control up around that? There was not even an attempt to cordon off or limit the interaction?
There was no attempt to cordon off.
Okay. And then you said, then Jacob gave you the instruction that you must take pictures.
The instruction to take pictures was given to me before the seal was broken, because I got the photos of the seal before it was broken. So,
And this, you were supposed to use your phone?
I was using my phone, yes.
Okay. And he was also using his phone?
Not my phone, a state phone.
A state phone?
Yes.
Okay. And obviously, I think you had some debate about calling LCRC and those that are supposed to be the ones that take photographs, right? And those photographs, I think you said they were submitted.
I forwarded all the photographs to Colonel Jacobs, who was then the investigator. After the inquiry was moved from Bangase to Colonel Jacobs, he printed the photos that he needed to put in the inquiry.
Then from a security perspective, just before we move to the other point, is that one of the issues is that the worry, I think yesterday with Colonel Jacob was that there could be some invasion or some sort of attack and all of this when you remained at the scene or at the scene. Do you share his view?
I never thought of that.
You never
like that.
thought of that security point?
I only noticed a whole lot of people very close to the container. And I also felt very uncomfortable with such exhibit, with quite a number of people. The invasion,
You're speaking too softly, Colonel.
I'm so sorry, Chair.
Colonel, just make sure that the people seated at the back there can hear you, because I've just received a complaint now that they cannot hear you. So don't just address Advocate Sikakane, address all of us.
I'm sorry about that, Chair.
No, that's fine.
I'll try and speak louder.
Okay.
Thank you. So your issue was not necessarily that there could be an attack or anything like that as you process the scene. Your main consideration is that there is now a lot of people that are coming on. So you don't find any issue with moving the exhibit elsewhere.
I think I'm going to respond that now. I'm a part of SANAP, and when you go to the hub to seize these drugs, you don't know who was supposed to take out this consignment firstly. So when you are there, you need to ensure that your safety comes first. And secondly, the safety of the exhibit. That is always at the back of your mind. So when you make decisions, you're always thinking and looking at your safety, considering the fact that we were only 4 members, if I'm counting Doma.
But, okay, so are you now saying you also considered safety or security at the time?
I did, in my mind, but
No, I'm saying then.
Then in my mind, it came across my mind.
Then, okay.
But it was not important because I was not in charge. So I'm just talking on how I was looking at things and thinking to myself, because I made no contribution to the decision.
And obviously to Colonel Jacobs, who was in charge, if that was his consideration, would you agree with a proposition that you could have called for backup, as it later turned out that you then got help when you were transporting the exhibit?
Yes.
Okay, Colonel, just to check that the 3 of you were not going to the depot to fetch drugs, you were actually going to conduct a drug bust. Were you armed? Did you take protective measures, the 3 of you, before going to the depot? Did you have weapons with you?
I think, Chair, the statement that you are saying that we were not going to fetch drugs, it's a very unfortunate statement, Chair.
That's why I'm giving alternatives, just to check that that's not what you were doing. My question is, were you armed? Did you have weapons with you?
Yeah, but such statement, because we are mandated to do these things as the DPCI.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm always armed when I'm at work.
So my question is, on the day, the 3 of you, were you armed?
Yes, I was armed. I cannot comment on behalf of others, Chair, but I was armed.
But you were with them. Do you know if they were armed?
Yes, they were armed.
Okay, so you had taken protective measures on your way to the depot.
Yes.
And the reason I'm asking you this is because of what you raised, that your first priority is safety, because you don't know who is also going there to collect the same drugs. So you would take protective measures just in case you are ambushed by people who are also there for different reasons than the reasons you are there for. So I'm establishing those facts. I'm not making findings at this stage. So
Okay, Chair.
please don't assume that when I test or I make propositions, is to find out what the facts were. It's not as if the commission has decided that you were there to fetch the drugs. I hope you understand that.
We fetched the drugs, we took them to the ACP 13 at DCP. We booked them at Potchefstroom. We were instructed to take them to Potchefstroom. We did that,
No,
Chair.
but there's a difference between going to conduct a drug bust because you're suspecting that drugs have been brought into the country illegally. And another scenario is you know that there's cocaine there, you are just going there to pick it up. That's why I was clarifying that there are different scenarios, and I wanted you to tell us which scenario applied.
To me, I had never even met Captain Duma.
Yes.
I was just informed by Mpangas requesting assistance. Then I gladly said, no, let's go. Then I went. When I got to his CSC depot, there are drugs. That's it. So we were going there to work. Hence, even our superiors were contacted and they were informed that we are going there.
In the book at the police station where you work, I'm assuming that when you were told that you must go to this drug bust, there is a document that you complete to say where you are going, what's the operation, for what purpose. Is there such a document?
Only now I know of such a document, an operational plan, but then I don't recall it was existing at that time.
Was there a drill that morning? What happened around 7:20 that morning when you were at your station where you worked in Durban and you were called to say you must go and assist in a drug bust? Isn't there a document that you complete?
No. No, I don't know of such a document. You report to your immediate commander of all the activities that you are about to partake. So you just inform him.
And you do that before you go or when you come back?
Before you go.
So on the
Or
day,
after food, you can do it also after you come back. But in this instance, I went to Captain Majola's office, who was acting because Colonel Jacob was on leave.
Was on leave, yes.
And then Captain Majola's office was locked, but I contacted him. Hence, he allowed me to assist again on the 23rd and on the 24th.
right, and I'm glad you mentioned that because we were looking for that name at some point, we didn't have it. So I'm glad that you have now clarified that point.
He is retired now.
No, we can still find him, don't worry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I can even find him for you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Skakan.
Thank you. Just so to follow up on what Commissioner Kumalo is saying, is that you sought permission on, I just want to round off this point, because also I didn't see it in your affidavit unless I'm mistaken, of that you sought permission from your immediate commander.
I informed him to say, KP, I've been requested by Warantu Sampangase to assist him. He said, no problem.
Okay. And on both, I would imagine, on the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th?
Yes. Because he was the person placing me on duty. Then in the morning on the 23rd, I briefed him of what has transpired on the 22nd. Then he was all right. Then again, when Pangase came to my office now, after my meeting, I went back to Captain Majola and told him that Pangase again is saying we need to go and bag the exhibit. He then said to me, no, just carry on, you can assist him, because we are not busy with anything at the present moment.
And is there any particular reason that, that detail for seeking permission is not in your statement?
There is no reason. There's literally no reason.
Okay.
But I report to Majola. Every morning he signed my pocketbook, placing me on duty. So I need to account for the day as to what I did.
Okay. Now, just to move quickly on this item. Earlier on, we had a discussion about the assistance, and I think Commissioner Kumalo was also on this point, is throughout this thing and this operation, your role, what exactly would you say your role was? What does assistance, how do you look at assistance?
It depends on what type of assistance is required by the people that you are assisting.
So your role was just to be available to any instruction they give you, and that's what you did.
Is to assist them, yes.
All right. So you then go to, there's a decision that's taken, I don't need to go into too much detail. It's taken to go to Isipingo, right? And you align with that decision, and then you go to Isipingo, right?
Yes.
And I think the statement is also that there were other members that were called to assist.
Yes, from ORS, we were also conducting inspection. Then Kenneth Jacob requested, after seeing a vehicle, requested them to assist us in taking the exhibit to the police station.
Okay. Then you go to the police station in,
Before you arrive at the police station, in your paragraph 10, where you talk about the space limited, the risk to members and exhibits, and the number of bystanders that were there, you then follow that with saying Colonel Jacob rather informed us we should proceed to Isipingo. Now, what happened in fact? I'm trying to understand whether you stood around and, or whatever postures you took. Did you have a discussion where you say, yes, the space is limited, there's a risk, now there are people, let's all go? Or that doesn't happen, but Colonel Jacobs says, let's go? I'm trying to understand whether this is your own observation that you are recording here, or you are recording what was given as a reason at the time to move.
He had a brief conversation with Mbangas.
being-
Kenneth Jacobs had a brief conversation with Mbangas. And then Kenneth Jacobs went on and requested members from ORS to assist. Then he then informed us that they are going to come, they will be assisting us, then we need to load the bags and go to Isipingo.
Okay. My question is about what happens before he approaches the members. And I'm trying to understand what you've written here. Where you say the space was limited, you see where I'm reading in that paragraph 10, and then you also say there was also a risk to members and exhibits, and then a number of bystanders were observing the activities. So that's you making your observation. Is that, I'm trying to understand that is that you recording your observation to us, or this is what was discussed with you by Jacob and Mbangase and maybe Duma you all spoke about the space is limited. You understand the question I'm asking you?
I understand, Chair.
Yes, so I'm trying to understand what happened in fact.
Those were my observations of the situation,
Okay,
and I had not discussed them with anyone.
okay.
So, yes.
So it's not what was said on the scene?
No.
Okay, all right. So when Jacob says, let's go, he doesn't say because of reason A, B, C, D. He just says, let's go to Isipingo. He doesn't list those things as reasons.
I don't recall, Chair. I don't want to commit on something, Chair, that I don't remember. But I remember him saying that I've requested for assistance. Let us go to Isipingo. Let's load the bags and go to Isipingo SAPS.
Okay.
In response to a question by me, or a couple of questions, you said he did not. And you remember in the context of the exercise of discretion by him, whether those initial prescripts must be followed, you actually, the responses you gave made me understand that he had not said anything, which is why you went so far as to say you were not in a position to assess his decision that you should go. Do you remember that discussion or that debate between you and I? Between you and me, rather.
Hey, Chair, I don't remember.
It's only a few hours ago. Okay, no, let's leave it there.
All right.
Let's leave it there.
Well, Colonel, the reason, the issue for me about this, if this was your observation and not what you discussed on the spot, is, but it's exactly what Jacob says. And yet it's another, for me, another area of concern that you seem to have conferred about what goes into your statements. The two of you who are coming to testify before us, you say exactly the same thing, and yet there was no discussion of this, but you all give the same reason for moving as if you were talking about it. But I want to add something to it, that what makes it a matter of concern is it is not in warrant officers Warrant Officer Mbanga's diary entry for the day. He doesn't give that explanation, and it's an important thing, you would agree, right? Because it's a breach of your instruction, national instruction. Breach as in the instruction is clear. It says you must beg, you must count, you must beg on the scene, you must call LCRC. So it's an important requirement. There's a departure from that requirement. It's not complied with, and yet it's not in the investigation diary, the explanation why that happened. It's not recorded anywhere. And Mbangase is not here, so he can't explain why it's not in the diary, but the two of you who are here give this explanation, and you say, curiously, you say, no, we didn't discuss it on the spot. It's my own observation. Well, it's exactly in the same terms as Jacob, and it's a matter of curiosity at the very least, but of concern.
It could also be, Chair, that maybe he also observed what I observed. Not only us in conspiring, maybe in trying to plot something. It could also be that what I was observing is the very same thing that he was observing.
Yeah, okay, that's your answer. Thank you.
Colonel, I just want to understand, I think earlier we had some issue about the details about ORS members that were present.
I'm sorry about that, Chair.
No, that's fine. Yeah. down your statement at paragraph 11, you then identify the members. You identify Sergeant Govender and Sergeant Mkhize. Where were these members? Where are they attached?
They are working at the harbor. That is why they are ORS members.
Also, these are the ORS members
Yeah.
that were present. And where do you
These are
get... sorry?
Sorry to interject.
No. Apologies.
These members, they report at the harbor, ORS.
Yes. So earlier on when we had this discussion, it was about the names of the peoples that were there, right? These ones came after Sergeant Govender and Sergeant Mkhize.
They came after our chair.
When you were leaving, they were not present at the breaking of the seal.
These two were not the only two members that were there from the harbor. There were a group of members from the harbor. Kelly Jacob went and requested assistance in terms of them providing us with transport. So these are the two that came from those that were there at the harbor, at the depot, I'm sorry.
So I just want to know, when these members, there's an area where you say, at paragraph 9, when you said there were these people that were present when the seal was broken. I just want to verify whether Sergeant Govender and Sergeant Mkhize were present then or not.
I retracted my statement to say all the ORS members, they came after the sale.
Oh, I see. Okay. And just for clarity, when you say harbor and ORS, you mean the same thing?
It's the same thing, yeah.
Okay. Can I move to the East Pingo commissioners? You finally covered.
No,
Commissioner
feel
Bali.
free to,
Okay.
No, feel free to.
Yes. Okay.
It's not 1 o'clock yet.
Okay. No, that's fine. There was a backup that was called, and then you traveled to Isipingo.
Yes.
And you loaded the